Yo, what's happening? John Fitch here, and it's a hot summer Sunday night in July. And yeah, we're gonna go over some wild stuff today. We had two events. I watched UFC and the bare knuckles. There's some decent fights, notable performances, and then there was an assassination attempt on Trump, and we'll get into that and some of the weirdness of that whole thing. Um, Regardless of what side you're on, it's all just weird, and I think everybody needs to calm down until we get some more answers into this. But you know, 9/11 happened over 20 years ago, and we still don't have answers on that. So we'll probably never get answers. So people are probably just going to run whatever narrative they want to run with, and it's just going to be whatever it is. But we'll talk about it. We'll get into that a little bit later. Uh, for now, let's get into the fights. Bare knuckles. Did you guys watch the bare knuckles? Were you into the fights this weekend? There was some decent stuff going on. Uh, Starting off, we'll get to. I saw all of them, but there weren't. I can't remember all the beginning of the card. Redfern and Brooks. I remember Redfern and Brooks. That was a pretty good fight, back and forth. Um, Redfern got a big knuckle in the eyeball, which got a mouse on the eye and made it swell. You could tell he was having problems seeing with it. That's the thing when you have no gloves on. You catch a knuckle right in the eye, and it feels kind of like a finger. Feels about like a thumb. Probably even more with the little guys, because the little guys got bonier hands, like pointier bones. And you get that pointy knuckle in your eye socket. That's not going to feel too good. But yeah, Redfern ended up putting away Brooks in the fifth round. Ended up knocking him out 53 seconds into the fifth round. And yeah, it was a pretty good fight. These guys were throwing hard and fast, and they were fairly evenly matched. But Redfern had the heart to stay in it. Came out with the victory. Not bad, not bad. Who's next? Gutierrez and Garcia. Zoimbination. Zabomination. Okay. Was his nickname. I'm reading that right now. I didn't hear that in the broadcast. I got the fan going in here. Hopefully you guys don't get drowned out by that noise, but it's a warm one in the garage today. It was a decision. Unanimous decision by Gutierrez. Both guys did. I mean, it was an okay fight, but we get spoiled in bare knuckles. We get spoiled in the bare knuckle fights, and you're used to finishes. And these guys were throwing hard and fast, but just not landing enough. Not enough follow-ups, I think. When they did land the big hard punches, I don't think they got to the position where they could follow up to put the other guy away. And they end up having a little decision. Next fight, we had Villasenor and Fields. Villasenor was just too much for Fields because this, I don't know if this is, now Fields that's his third bare knuckle fight. All right, well, Villasenor went 1-1 and Fields dropped to 1-2. But Villasenor was just on him hard and fast, knocking down fast. 3 knockdowns in the first round. Finished with a knockout 71 seconds into the first round, and it just had him outclassed. And that happens sometimes in bare knuckles, where one guy just gets to jump on the other guy, and there's no coming back from it. That's why that Redfern fight was kind of impressive, because he did seem kind of look like he was hurt a little bit early. Now, I was bothering him, but he shook it off. The Villasenor got out fast in first, did the damage first, and it was just snowball downhill for Fields afterwards. D-Rock, yes, that was ridiculous. My girlfriend commented on that. Drock says, Fitch, can you believe Tracy Cortez was wearing fake eyelashes in a fight? This is just some kind of like hardcore porno. I think that's what it is. Like, because what you're wearing makeup in a fight, you're wearing eyelashes in a fight. Like, I can't take you seriously. I can't take you seriously as an athlete at all. Like, what are you there for? You're there to fight and beat somebody up, not be a sex icon. Like, that's just, I can't believe the commission allows it even. Like, why is that appropriate attire? Like, oh, you can't have ankle wraps, right? But you can totally wear, can't wear a knee sleeve, but you can wear eyelashes. Like, how about what if you put on really big ones, like with pads on them, so work like a headgear buffer or something? Oh, they're just my eyelashes. It's weird, man. It's weird. That's why I don't like watching those fights. I didn't even watch that fight. I went and did something else. I don't think like I would rather watch any unnamed woman fight over a basketball game, any men's basketball game. I would rather watch a women's fight. I would, but I don't really want to watch women fight. I don't care. It's not as entertaining to me. They don't hit as hard, and I don't think they are as good as their male counterparts. I would rather watch the men fight. And if it was just a 100% all female card, like, sorry, they have every right to do it, but I don't want to pay for it, and that's fine. Like, people shouldn't be shamed or made to feel like a bad person because they have tastes. I don't care. Yes, Hemzamir, you can't wear a gi, you can't wear shoes, but makeup is good. Yep. I mean, what if that makeup was some kind of like greasy thing, like extra grease or extra something, gave you some kind of advantage? I mean, I don't know. Drock, you were at Temecula. You're in Temecula at the event. That's cool. How was it? How was the live event? Was it pretty fun to be at? The crowd good? Seats good? Everything fun? Be interesting to hear from somebody on the ground. So what's next? Christensen and Pellegrino. Pellegrino has a brother of the MMA fighter Pellegrino. Christensen got knocked down in the opening round, but Pellegrino got stopped in the second. Right? Wasn't that kind of, yeah, it was kind of weird. Like, I feel like Pellegrino was winning that fight, right? He was doing really well. He got the knockdown. He was doing good. And then he got hit hard. Something happened. I don't know if it was his nose or got hit in the orbital. I'm not sure what it was, but he kind of just decided he didn't want to do it anymore. So that puts Pellegrino at 0-1. I guess it was his first fight. Sometimes that happens when you're not used to the bare knuckles hitting your face. Guys opt out, and that happens, man. Like, I was watching this old fight. Hamzamir sent me links to these old fights, and it was a 1998 tournament with Igor Vicianchin in it, and a lot of the guys in that fight, because it was one 30-minute fight, headbutts, knees to the head on the ground, soccer kicks, all legal. I believe you could wear the wrestling shoes. Some of the guys, I think I did see that. Hitting somebody in the groin wasn't even illegal, but it was a gentleman's agreement that they didn't do it or wouldn't do it. But some of those guys just stopped, mid-fight. They just waved off whatever because they got hit a few times. And I think the bare knuckles just changed people's mind, and they just opt out. And they're like, no, I took enough. I took enough shots. I want to be done. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Anybody else notice that? I thought it was a little odd that Pellegrino kind of just ducked out of that one. Lavaz MMA said, Matt Brown said, if we have to watch women MMA, can they at least be topless? That's funny, man. Yeah, because they like villainized beauty contests now. They don't have beauty contests. They put them in bathing suits and gowns and make them walk down the catwalk or whatever and ask them questions about politics. Now they put them in fight shorts and gloves and make them beat the crap out of each other. Because that most of them just fight so that they can sell their OnlyFans anyways, because they're not getting paid enough to actually make a living at fighting. So it's like there's a direct line, a direct stream from fighting in the UFC to going and doing porn on OnlyFans. It's bizarre. It's very bizarre. I'm wondering if the WME, IMG, what's his name? Ghislaine Maxwell and the other guy, Epstein connection has anything to do with the way some of these fighters are getting pushed. I wonder. It's all connected, man. It's wild. The Voss. How's my experience with Joe Silva? He was a little rat midget, jealous of everybody who is taller than 4'5", because anybody taller than 4'5" is a giant compared to Joe Silva. Hammersmere, I did not watch BYB. I don't know where to find it. I didn't see any ads for it, so I wasn't aware. I didn't know to look for it. But I'm following them now on Instagram, so I'm watching. I see some of the after the event fight highlights. And they have a very interesting setup with BYB because they use a triangle-shaped ring, so there's hard angles and it's very small. You don't have anywhere to run. You're almost in a phone booth. Yeah, Silva looked good. Glory, what's up? We'll be in town very soon. Please, Feldman, do a co-promotion with Dada 5000. Yeah, I mean that's the problem. Feldman needs to understand that he's running the risk of getting sued for class action violations, also for not class action violations, but for antitrust violations. Also, if he doesn't have independent titles, a workaround would be to have an independent bare knuckle title that you have your top guys fight for or something. You have some kind of independent ranking and guys can fight for that. You can still have your promotional titles then, but then you would have a unification title across the board at least once a year. That would save guys a lot of trouble, a lot of promoters, a lot of trouble from getting too big and then getting sued down the road. Because the other hope is just that UFC gets the case thrown out or they win the case and that exploitation is allowed. Where are we at? Rosas, Inguez. All right. We had Rosas winning a close decision. Edged it out 49-46, 48-47. Yep, two judges scored at 48-47. Oh, I see. Never mind. Two judges. Yeah, it's a split decision. Two judges said 49-46. One said 48-47. So back and forth fight between those two. And the last two fights were pretty good. Thomas and Gonzalez. Thomas really couldn't figure out how to close the distance on Gonzalez. Gonzalez has a lot of fights. I think, like 49 fights, maybe his 50th professional fight. He's fought a lot of MMA fights. He's a little bit defensive. He kept his hands and guards up tight and waited for Thomas to throw first most of the time. and he countered and did well. Thomas needed to use that clinch. He needed a punch to clinch and throw some punches inside. Gonzalez did okay with that clinch too. But yeah, Thomas had a hard time closing the distance, it looked like, and being first. And he was kind of waiting around a lot for that fight. Gonzalez ends up getting the nod in that fight. Unanimous decision. 2 judges scored at 49-46, and 1 judge 48-47. So Gonzalez is now 1-1. Ronnie Thomas falls to 0-1. That was his first fight. This was a prospects card, I guess, right? And then Gonzalez, trying to pull himself into a big fight. He's talking smack to Mike Perry, trying to see if he can get a fight with Mike Perry. But I don't know if Gonzalez, a 1-1 record, and not enough people probably know Gonzalez to put that fight together. There's no merit-based reason to throw that fight together, and the notoriety is not really there. So it's going to be that's a hard sell, I think, for that fight to happen right now. If he strings together like 3 or 4 fights and wins those impressively, then maybe he has an argument. But yeah, Mike Perry's making too much money fighting retired names and YouTube stars, And then the main event, short and sweet. Peralta and War at 2-0 after this fight. He landed an amazing counter right hand. I guess you'd call it a counter right hand. He's kind of pawing, knocks the hands down, slips a punch, bam, lands that right. It was over like 5 or 6 seconds. It was fast. It was fast, nasty. Peralta was out cold. Fight's over. That's going to be a highlight clip for a long time because that was a pretty nasty punch, pretty nasty knockout. I guess I read that wrong. War is not 2-1. He's 2-0-1. He has a no contest. So there's some promise for this kid, this War kid. He may be built for it. He may be built for the no gloves contact. All right, so we'll see where he goes. That was bare knuckles, pretty good fights, not bad. I can't complain. I enjoyed them. We had UFC then. You think is that fight put together? Right, Nick Diaz and Mike Perry. Is that actually put together? Killshot versus Mike Perry, not Nick. Okay, who's Killshot? I don't know who Killshot is. I don't know the nicknames. I'm not a big pro wrestling guy. Probably not going to see me do that. Yeah, I hope Perry wins versus Paul too. I hope he hurts Paul bad so that Paul can't fight again. We don't have to listen to that garbage. I just don't want to. I know. I mean, whatever, man. He sells tickets. He makes money. It is what it is. The fight game, it's about notoriety. If you want to get mad at that, get mad at the fans. Get mad at the people who are watching it. Get mad at the people who are paying for it. You're right, Hamzamir. UFC is super gay. It is. It's hard to watch a lot of the times. But there are some good fights. There's still some good fights in there, and I love fights, and I don't know what else to do with my time. What am I supposed to do? I like watching fights. So I got to watch through all this gay crap just to get to a couple good fights every once in a while. It's very frustrating. But like I love fights. Like I could not do it. I could not be around it. And I try to watch as many fights as I can from as many promotions as I can. You know, as long as time is available. But man, okay. Hamzamir says kill shots from Nick's gym. I don't know his real name. I think I know what you're talking about. I think he fought recently, didn't he? Did he fight the same night or fought not that long ago? All right. So UFC, let's go through UFC. Evan Elder looked good. Welterweight fight against Darius Flowers. He gets the sub in the second round. And he's the first one to drop the Trump getting shot at bomb. I didn't hear anything about it. I had to go online and look it up. I've been like so avoiding politics because it's all so cringe. It's all so gay. I gotta stop saying cringe because the word gay was the old cringe. You would say gay instead of cringe. That's so gay. But nowadays they changed it. Now it's cringe. No, gay was better. We're gonna keep using it. Words can have different meanings. I don't care about your sex parts and what you do with your butthole. I'm using it for what I want to use it for. You don't get to own the rainbow either. I don't care. No more victim bullcrap. No more victim shields. It's not allowed. I don't care. I just don't care. Evan Elder, though, looked good. I don't think I've seen Elder fight before. I can't remember. But he looked pretty good. Josh Fremd and Petresky. They were really pushing Fremd in his stand-up, but Petresky got close, fought to the clinch, took him down, beat him up. Almost had that arm triangle. I think he almost had that arm triangle once. A lot of people attacked that arm triangle, but could not quite finish it. And it's funny because I taught that submission on Wednesday at class. I taught that exact mount submission. I hope he bruised your ribs with the punch and not the back door. And Glory. Hemzamir says, except Nagastani's, Alex, Jiri, Jan, Shavkat, Khalil Roundtree, all of them are gay. It's all really, I don't know, man. It's bad. It's bad. And so many people are just so happy to be a company guy and get robbed. It's weird. Thanks for tuning in, Kayla. Good to have you back. Yep, a lot of it looks like anytime you have to sell the emotion and feelings of something, it automatically just feels really fake. I don't know what to say. It's terrible. Both sides have Trump arrangements in them. It is. Like I posted a thing with George what's his name? I should just play it. Maybe it's still playing on my thing. Playing on my story. I gotta switch back to mine. I got switched back to my account and they sent my code. I guess it's good so I don't get hacked. Where is my thing? I'm gonna pause this for later when we get to that stuff. All right, so let's. I'll get back to these fights because there's so many things to do. But yeah, Petrosky, like they were just gassing up Frem the whole time. Like they have a very blatant anti grappling stance. They just do. Like it's weird unless it's somebody they want to push because they need that demographic or they need that that country's revenue and they need a TV deal. They don't push a lot of it unless it's a certain guys they do push. But for the most part, like you get overlooked and they talk about the other guy if you're the guy who's controlling and beating the other guy up. It's wild. Petrosky did a good job. He worked hard. He did what he had to get the win. Fremd is a dangerous fighter. Petrosky beat him up, took him down, beat him up. He did a good job. He won the fight. That's what he's supposed to do. It's his job. Next fight. This was good, man. Montel Jackson. Damon Blackshear. I like Blackshear. He's been doing some good things, but Montel Jackson is just fast. And is Montel Jackson, is that the same name as the guy? This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Is that the same guy's name? I can't remember. My brain is foggy. If it is, and he's not coming out to that song, that's a mistake. It's a mistake. He needs to have somebody get to him. But Montel Jackson, man, that was impressive. 18-second knockout. 18-second knockout. Man. And Blackshear was out. That was a big, hard punch. And at bantamweight, that was wild. I'll be excited to see Mr. Jackson fighting again. Hopefully in the soon-to-be future. Joshua Van and Charles Johnson. This was a cool fight. This was a good fight. Josh Van uses a lot of pressure. He doesn't throw wild punches or anything. He just pressures with footwork, presses you into the fence, gets you to start throwing punches, and then comes back with pretty good power. He was doing a good job, and I think that he was winning this round 2-0 going into the third. But Charles Johnson was not out of the fight. He was still working hard and trying to use volume to get inside to touch up Van. And he was able to land some nasty shots and put him out 20 seconds into the third round. So Johnson come from behind victory big time. Shows you got to just stay in the fight, stay fighting hard, throw hard punches. It was a good performance. Both guys, I like watching it. The Brundage Al Hassan fight was a big letdown. 30 seconds into it, and Al Hassan was throwing a bunch of elbows, and he caught a number of times in the back of behind the ear. I think when you hit the ear, you're all right. But you get too far behind it, and it gets all risky. Now, but to me, it's like as long as it's not the spine, as long as it's not that little section of the spine, like the behind the ear, I don't think it counts as back of the head, because that's not like you're gonna get knocked out, but I don't see the serious injury from behind the head here. You know, I think that takes away a big tool from a lot of the fighters not being able to land in this section. If you're on the spinal column and a little bit above, like I get it, that's dangerous. You don't want somebody get paralyzed. You don't want a broken neck. But back of the head here, I don't know, man. I don't know if it should be illegal, like that. But yeah, it shows you the pointed elbows are dangerous if you can use them. But Brundage, I think it sucks because it was a no contest, and I'm like, if it was what the ruling is. What it's an accident. It was an accident. You accidentally hit him in the back of the head, so it's a no contest. Well, I mean, if he threw something to hit him and he hit him there several times with intent, then it wasn't really an accident, was it? So this is my problem with it, is because when you call a no contest, chances are Like these guys, they have no right to their win bonus. Nobody gets the win bonus. And Hassan is the one who benefits the most, right? Because instead of getting DQ'd and a loss on his record, it's just a no contest. Like if he would have lost, he wouldn't have gotten his money anyways. If he would have been disqualified, he wouldn't have gotten his money anyways. But Brundage, if the guy doesn't get disqualified and it's a no contest, now Brundage doesn't get his money. And he doesn't get a win on his record. So I don't know, man. I don't know about that whole rule set and how it's enforced, because that was, I don't know, man. Either open up where exactly you can strike. If it's not an elbow to the back, like actual back of the head. To me, that's like a small area like this up the spine. That's what that is to me. They say the mohawk area, like, but even there, the top of the head. What's wrong with the elbows at the top of the head? I guess it just depends on the ref sometimes too. Arosa and Rodriguez. Arosa with the round 1 submission towards the end of the first round. That was pretty good. Gabriel Bonfim, Angulusa. I don't know, man. Like I'm not remembering a lot from this fight because I think it was a kickboxing match. There wasn't a lot of MMA involved in that fight. It was mostly kickboxing. Am I wrong? Did I miss that? Was there anybody taking anybody down there or attempting to take anybody down there? And I've said it before. I don't care if you're mad at it, but like I don't want to watch just a kick. If I want to watch kickboxing, I'll watch one championship, or we can watch Glory. There's really good kickboxers, like amazing kickboxers, and if they have, for some promotions, one championship has it, but they got the small glove kickboxing. If you that's what you like, you want to watch guys standing and begging, and that's it. You don't want to see any level changes. You don't want to see any clinches in the fence. You don't want to see any submission attempts. Then that's the thing to be watching. You're watching the wrong sport. You're watching the wrong sport. You are the guy going to the soccer game telling the guys, boo, pick it up. Just pick the ball up and use your hands. Boo. Like you're at the wrong arena. You're completely at the wrong arena. Next fight. We're wrapping this up so we can get into the juicy stuff. Drew Dauber. I like watching Drew Dauber fight, but this guy, he hasn't refined anything. He throws wide and loose. He's got a good chin. He fights hard. But like I feel like because of the way he fights, he's never putting himself anywhere close to being a contender. He's just always going to be a opponent, and he's the type of opponent that you set a guy up for to have a highlight finish, because he is open. If you have somebody who's got more clean striking and powerful striking, like that guy's probably going to win. He's most likely going to win. Because Dauber drops his hands and he punches wide a lot, leads with his chin. It's fun to watch, but at the same time, like he's gonna have a hard time doing that for a long time and then competing to put himself into the title contention. John Silva looked good. He looked tight. He looked fun to watch, exciting. But it was the ideal, perfect matchup. That was the perfect matchup for him to fight. Right? I think a guy who is a brawler, who punches loose and wide, Silva wins that 99 times out of 100. And he should probably knock the guy out impressively in that situation. Dauber is so tough that he weathered the storm for a while, taking big shots, but Silva slid in some nasty elbows, those spinning back elbows. And the fight was stopped to a cut. It wasn't even that Dauber was knocked out. He was still in the fight. Like you can't say he wasn't you can't say he couldn't have landed one big punch and maybe stolen the fight away. But he got beat up a little bit. He got lumped up. He got hit hard a few times. I think he did get it worse than he gave it. But yeah, it was stopped to a cut. That was a nasty cut. It was really bad. I don't know. We haven't seen a nasty cut like that in a little while. It was pretty bad. But John Silva looked good, 14-2 now. Be interesting to see where they put him, because lightweight does need some new blood. That would be good to see him go. Ponzinibbio and Salikov. This was also almost a full-on kickboxing match. Ponzinibbio did manage to pull out some wrestling at the end around 2 and 3. And I'm sorry, but like, I don't understand the scoring. It was close. I didn't really see Salikov do a bunch of air quote damage in the fight. You know, he landed some significant strikes. Did I miss Ponzinibbio like stumbling or falling or anything? Like, it seemed like a lot of even back and forth between the two on their feet. But then Santiago was able to get a couple takedowns and put Muslim on his back. So, like, I had Ponzinibbio winning a split. I thought he was going to win a split, but the split went the other direction. You know, I still do not understand the scoring and the scoring criteria of that what they're doing, man. It's wild. It's weird. It's really weird. I don't know why they're doing that stuff, man. I mean, I guess I do know why, but like, whatever. It is what it is. All right. So that's the significant fights I watched. And then there was an attempted assassination. And it's weird. It's weird, guys. Yep, Kepsta, you're correct. Stober was getting beat and had zero thought for a takedown. Salikov and Ponzi need to retire. You think so? I mean, Salikov's 40, but I don't know what is his record, right? He's 20 and 5. It's not bad. Like 30 and 8. Those aren't bad records, man. Like, they're not bad fighters, and I think maybe they could still win fights against people. You know, I think once you start getting into the double-digit losses, that's when you start thinking about the retirement. And when your losses come from knockouts, right? When you get a number of knockouts after double-digit losses, that's when I think it's time to start looking to change things up, change career paths. 100%, Hemzamir. These guys don't even clinch when they strike, he says. Kayla Mooney says, I have a question because I heard both things. Is it recommended to have lots of sex by week? I wouldn't say lots. Nothing should be getting in your way, but I don't think there's anything wrong with having sex. My friend Benji did a video project 20 years ago when we were at the old AKA, and he went around and he asked pros and other fighters about the refraining from sex, no sex until after the fight. And what he found was all of the people who were champions, all the people who had fought for championships and won championships were all like, yeah, it's not a big deal. All of them were like, yeah, it's not a big deal. All of the people who said, no, you got to abstain and you shouldn't have any sex throughout your whole fight camp until afterwards, because then you're more hungry and whatever. None of those people had ever won a championship. I thought that was unbelievably interesting. And in my years since then, I've yet to meet any champions who really adhere to that way of thinking. I mean, you hear stories about Mike Tyson having sex and getting STDs the week of a fight, and then having like groin pain from his inflamed infections and stuff as he's knocking guys out in 10 or 15 seconds. Hamzamir, Nemkov is lost to what's his name like twice now, right? Or Nemkov is the 205 pounder. It's the other guy that is lost to the Brit again. But Nemkov is a stud. He is a stud. And it's a shame we don't get to watch him fight other top guys in the UFC. It's wild. It would be interesting to see if Nemkov could stop Jones's takedowns, because I think, Nemkov's stand-up and footwork may be troublesome for John Jones, just like I think Gan's footwork could have been, but Jones just blitzed him, took him down fast, and then put him away. So we'll never know, because it's getting suppressed. We're not getting that fight. All right, let's talk about the assassination attempt, okay? Because this is weird, and I kind of want to share this first, though, guys. This is the great. I don't know how you can make this any bigger. I guess you can't make it big for the one thing. But this is the great George Carlin. Okay.
More than I like orthodoxy of the right. The right-wing Christians are trying to control your behavior.
I'm going to do this so you from the beginning.
More than I like orthodoxy of the right. The right-wing Christians are trying to control your behavior. They're trying to control the behavior of other people. The left-wing academics are trying to control the language and behavior of people. I don't like anyone trying to control and dictate to me from an orthodox standpoint. I just don't think it's what I need to be whole. I really think this species is a foolish, failed species that has organized itself poorly. And I think this culture in particular leads the way. I think we have put property ahead of people. We have put competition ahead of cooperation. And I don't think the balance can ever be brought back into line.
Really?
So my attitude is one of, I look at this species with pity and wonder, a combination of wonder and pity. Can't believe that they do these things. And I really feel sorry for them, but I don't identify with them. Abraham Maslow said the really successfully actualized, self-actualized person does not identify with the local group. I don't identify with this country, with these religions, with this species. I really feel like one of the carbon atoms, you know, and just watching the whole thing.
Really?
From out at we know what the Oort cloud is. The Oort cloud is where the comets gather outside the orbit of Pluto. And that's a safe vantage point. And I think artistically, it's the safest place because I've divorced myself from it. So I'm much freer in my comedy, I think, to say the things I need to say, because I don't orthodoxy of the left any more than I like orthodoxy of the right. The right-wing Christians are trying to control your behavior. They're trying to control the behavior of other people. The left-wing academics are trying to control the language and behavior of people. I don't like anyone trying to control and dictate to me from an orthodox stand.
I could not say it any better to myself. Anybody who wants a leader, who needs somebody to lead them and save them and tell them what to do, slavery is a choice. You're offering yourself up to someone else enslaving you. You can do it for yourself. Do things for yourself. Figure things out for yourself. Create your own communities. Create your own systems. Create your own shows. Create your own literature. Create your own stuff. Create your own news. You don't have to abide by and consume the crap that these orthodoxies on either side are shoving down your throat. Think different. It's okay. You don't have to get in line and follow along with everybody else. I think it is a very human condition, I guess, to just go along and be told what you want to be told. I think it's the that part of us that looks for the easy way. We want to find the easiest way to do something, and it's way easier to just let somebody else tell you what to do, because Oh, you don't have to think about it. Okay, I'll go do it. I'll go do it. I just have to do it. And then you get a bitch about it and blame someone else when things don't work out the way you want. It's just a soft way of doing things. So we've got the shooter right now. Could change. They're saying it's this guy Thomas Math Crooks, 20-year-old shooter who tried assassinating the Trump, right? He was actually, and I don't know how real this is either. I think Laura Loomer posted this, and I don't know how accurate she is or how honest she is, or if she's some kind of asset. I don't know. But there is a video of BlackRock at this high school.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
The kid, I don't know, all right there.
I teach AP and Honors.
This guy right here, that's the shooter. You guys see him? Right? This guy in this BlackRock commercial at this high school, and that's the shooter. So there's already a connection between
Economics
this guy
in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a special place to come to school.
There he is. Is that wild? Is that wild? Yeah, Laura Loomer, part of the swarm. I'm not doubting that at all. But this is getting put out there. That's weird. I don't have any opinion on these things, honestly. I'm just, I think everybody needs to just calm down and take a look at everything. Nobody's on your side. Stop pretending there's heroes and these politicians are going to save you. Forget, like, grow up. They don't care about you. They do not care about you. This is my favorite thing of the day, I think. Where was it? Oh, yeah, there it is. Post from Matt Brown. I love it. Matt Brown says, so many of you clearly need more purpose in your life. This obsession with political leaders is so cringe. They could give a fuck less about you while you worship them. Both sides, guys, wake up. Get into fitness or music or something, you dorks. Matt Brown is a legend. Matt Brown is a legend. Right? 100%. Kepsta says, I think the shooter is MK Ultra himself watching MSM telling him Trump is Hitler. That could be true. Like, what if that guy was dragged up there by somebody? What if he was dragged up? He was already dead. What if they killed him, planted his body, said, oh, here's a dork we can watch. So this is interesting too. I think we should take a look at this is the layout. This is weird also to me. Okay, because there's supposed to be a lot of security around this event. And it looks like they majorly dropped the ball. Okay, because you have Counter Sniper Team 2, Counter Sniper Team 1 on these two buildings, right? Nothing really over here. Like, I guess they got a good view of these buildings, so they don't need snipers on them, or I guess the snipers are watching these guys. And then there's this big, massive buildings over here. Why wasn't there a third Counter Sniper team? Why wasn't there a third one here? Wouldn't that be better to have all of this stuff watched? Right? Wouldn't that be much better to watch all those things? There were casualties involved. But, you know, there were casualties involved in 9/11, weren't there? A lot of, I don't know, man. So, and that's it. So, some people are saying it's the deep state. The deep state wants to get rid of Trump because he's bad. Maybe, or maybe they want to build more support for him. Maybe now because everybody's posting these cool memes about him, and it's badass. It's badass. He had blood on his face. There were shots fired. People died, and he's like, ah, it's badass. There's T-shirts made already in less than 24 hours that people are going to make money off of. Trump's probably going to be able to fund his whole campaign off of T-shirts sold from that image. That's wild. So now we have this guy who's godlike to a certain group of people, and they're not going to listen to anything you say. That's kind of terrifying, because they're gonna be like the Obama people. They're gonna just allow anything he does and everything he says, and they're gonna cheer him on. You know, oh, he bombed a bunch of children. Yeah, well, they were terrorists. They were bad people. It's the price you have to pay, or whatever. Like, I don't know, man. It's a little bit scary to see how many people are really excited about this right now. These guys do not have your best interest in heart. They do not care. They're actors. This is all a game to them to get stupid people to support them so they can make more money for themselves and create a situation where they can make more money with their business. This is a ruling class. Like the kings and queens, they don't care about you. They do not care about you. They never did. You're peasants. You are literally peasants. You're fodder, cannon fodder. Tattoos and oil paintings already. Wake up. It's all fake and gay. You're right, Hemsmere. Fake, gay, retarded. FGR. Everything is FGR. You gotta think of that. As soon as something happens, just be like, what's the angle here? What's the angle going on? They are saying that there were witnesses, said that they saw a guy climbing on the roof. There's videos of the guy climbing on the roof, and they were telling the cops, and the cops did nothing. The Secret Service did nothing. They just waited. The video of the guy, he's got the guy in his sights. I saw one post. I don't know if it's real, probably not real, but somebody said he anonymously posted. He said he was the sniper. He said he had the guy in his sights for 2 minutes and he wasn't allowed to shoot. I don't know if that's real or fake. I don't know if any of it's real or fake. It could all be just pro wrestling. Maybe Trump did it himself. Maybe he set it up himself. Maybe the people who died in the audience were the actual target. There's so many things that it could be. Maybe it could just be that some crazy kid really believed the news media and wanted to try to kill him. But why was the security so lax? Why is Trump not protecting himself? Why is Trump not protecting his supporters? Isn't he liable in that situation? Because he's got Secret Service, but he's holding an event? It's his event. Isn't he supposed to make sure people are safe? Doesn't that fall back on him? Doesn't that fall back on him for not having the appropriate amount of security in that area? It's wild. So when Trump gets in and he declares war, everybody's going to cheer it on. Yikes. Yikes. World War III? Is that what's happening? Because I've said it before. My opinion is that we're in an economic free fall, absolute economic free fall. They just keep printing money. The U.S. dollar is losing its dominance. You have artificial prices and things inflated, home prices inflated, and these corporations are buying up all the houses because they're the only ones that can afford them. And the prices aren't probably going to pop and drop. They're gonna keep piling on more and more debt. Banks no longer have to have any reserve funds in their banks. So this bank can have $0. And I was watching Boom Bear Bust. He's a good creator on YouTube, and he has some good info. And he was talking the banks can literally give a loan out for $1 trillion. Right, just as an example, $1 trillion, and not have a single dollar in their account, in any of their accounts, and it's legal, and that's okay. I don't understand, man. That's wild. Yeah, Trump. Yeah, now Trump. You know what happened? You remember what happened when they tried to assassinate Reagan? Remember? Gun control, the Brady bill, right? Trump gets elected. He's like, hey, we can't allow these rifles. Somebody tried to kill me with one. We have to ban them. We have to make them harder to get. Like what, you know, that's wild, man. It was literally Reagan who did the big Second Amendment right violations. It was Reagan because he got shot. Remember this? You guys remember? I remember. Pepper Fudge remembers. And that was a bunch of gun control came in after that. Brian T says the Secret Service, like the military, is weak because of DEI. The security was terrible. I was just a paratrooper in Iraq, but Tyler Gray, who was Delta Force, said the same thing. Yeah, a lot of guys, Tim Kennedy was commenting on it. There have been a number of people who have commented on the Secret Service not doing a very good job. And you could see how those guys acted right there with Reagan. They looked like they knew what they were doing. That was a pretty clean delivery of action, it seemed like. And I got to get back to I had to do that. Much more so than what happened with Trump. Let's watch the Trump one. All right, we'll watch Trump one real time. In case you guys missed it.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Singapore. Everybody's kind of calmly just sitting there. Are people so like dumbed down to things? Like they're not like running away? I gotta remember the Vegas shooter. People were running. They didn't know where the bullets were coming from even. But they were running. They were out of there. I mean, like, this is not standard operating procedure, is it? They let him stand up. They didn't let Reagan stand up. I guess Reagan was shot worse than the year. I don't know, man. It seems a little bit like pro wrestling. Seems a little bit like pro wrestling. I don't know. But people died. Yeah, like how many that's what's going to be funny is how many people who will say that 9/11 was inside job and the government did it, but that was totally real. That was totally real. That they would never have faked any of that. And there's no way Trump would have been in on it. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying you got to be open to any possible thing that could have happened. I think there were two people hit. One guy at least died The shooter was dead, of course. Was it an inside? Was it a deep state attack from a 3-letter agency? Was it just a crazed Antifa kid who believed the mainstream news media? Was it some corporation like BlackRock or somebody else that was afraid that Trump was going to take money away from them? Which I doubt, though, because Trump seems to work well with big companies and big money. I don't think BlackRock would not like Trump. I don't. Was it somebody from WME? Was it Ari Emanuel's father's friends? Because they were terrorists. They were a terrorist organization. It was an Israeli terrorist organization called a terrorist organization by Israel, not just me. J10 says the whole audience in the stands would had to have seen Trump apply a fake wound if it's fake, or that wound stand is in on it. Have you ever watched pro wrestling? Have you ever watched pro wrestling and they start bleeding? Is that a fake wound? Or is it a razor blade cut? You're telling me that the whole stand in a pro wrestling event has to be in on it for that to happen? I remember going to a pro wrestling event when I was a little kid and they had a cage match and the guy got all bloody. And like all my friends were convinced that it was real. And I was like, that still doesn't seem right. Because I was like, we tried to do wrestling stuff. This is before I actually wrestled on the playground. And I was like, if I stopped you, we would like try things. Like this guy tried this. Like I was like questioning at some point. And then I started actually wrestling. I was like, oh, it's totally fake. There's no way. You have to let people do this stuff. So like, I'm sorry, but like you can make yourself bleed. You can make yourself bleed, or you can make yourself. He fell down on the ground. Maybe did something to his ear when he fell on the ground. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I also heard Trump say that it was a bullet that hit his ear. Like it seems like a bullet would do way more damage if it grazed the ear than what it did. And then he didn't go deaf in that ear. He just heard whizzing. So I guess if the ammunition was subsonic, maybe, but if it was regular gun, regular bullet, then that would have had a sonic, sound going by him. That would have ruptured the eardrum probably. Same thing. Yeah. The razor blade is the wound. Like it's covered in blood. You can't really see what's going on. It's grainy footage. I don't know, man. I just don't buy it. I'm not gonna jump in and say, yes, I believe everything. How many lies have we been told? Like in my lifetime, not even in my lifetime, since 9/11. Just since 9/11. We had 9/11, we had weapons of mass destruction, we had Afghanistan. We had because Afghanistan, we were trying to find Taliban, blah, blah, blah. No, we were protecting poppy seed fields. We were protecting the drugs. Then we had the drug epidemic, the opioid drug epidemic, where they're prescribing opioids to everybody. We lost tons of people. I had a friend who died because of that shit. Right? They lied about that stuff. Then the economic crash in 2008. Right? They were jobbing people on home loans and zero down home loans and taking advantage of people in those situations. And then the bankers got bailed out by Obama. Obama's whole presidency was a lie. The whole the whole lead up to it was a lie. Hope and dreams, yeah. The spying, the mass spying that was happening from those time periods. Everything that happened with the Occupy Wall Street, wokeism, Anthony Weiner, Huma Abedin, and what's her name, right? The Seth Rich who died, who was killed, Jeffrey Epstein. How long is the list? How long is the list of bullcrap and lies that have been happening in the last 25 years, 20 years. Where does it end? Oh, but this time it's totally, well, it's exactly the way they said a day later. It's exactly, I know it is. Because why? You're psychic, or because it's your team, or because you want to be a slave and you need a ruler. You need somebody to tell you what to do because you can't do it on your own. Yep. Pretty boy Gloy saying nothing surprises me when it comes to hoax or not. We were just told for 3 years that COVID shutdowns were the solution to saving lives. And the jab and the boop boop, right? More people probably hurt from the boop boop than were saved or helped. It's just the number of lies and deception and crap that our military and government has done. I'm sorry that I don't believe. I'm not going to jump on board and support some lesser of two evil candidate. These people do not have our best interest in mind at all. I mean, man, Russian collusion. How many years of Russian collusion nonsense did we have to listen to? These people on the right who are believing this stuff sound exactly like the people on the left who are pushing Russian collusion for 4 years. You guys are the same. You guys are two sides of a shit sandwich. Sorry if I'm hurting feelings. You're two sides of a shit sandwich. That's it. My side's better. No, my side's better. Yep, we're all on the plantation. We're all workers. We are workers. They make money off of our work. They steal money from us. They have to keep us sedated and confused and scared. Well, what's your answer? What's your answer? Get off the plantation, guys. Get away from cities. Get away from cities. Grow your own food, hunt, fish, get your own stuff together. Trade, create your own communities of people to help out. Get family and friend members together. Pool your money together. Buy some land. I was looking around different places for land. I saw places where 500 to $1 million you can get 50 acres, 25 to 50 acres in some places. Like, oh, well, that's a lot of money. Yeah, but like you get 10 people together. You get 10 people together, maybe with $100,000. That's $1 million. You can buy it flat out, no mortgage. Put some trailers on it, put some tents on it, whatever. Build your own cabin. Like, figure it out. I think the only way to beat this evil corporate run banking system is to pull out, leave. You have to leave the plantation because they can't survive without you. They can't survive without you. Focus on your family. Focus on your friends. Focus on the people around you. UJ10. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You're not American. You couldn't care about a president. That's fine. So why do you care about whether or not the ear thing was real or not? If you just have something to add to the conversation, that's fine. But don't get all pissy. I don't need you here. I pull weeds from my gardens. When you get pissy, I'll give you the block. I don't care if everybody's come here. I don't care about getting a big bunch of viewership. I want good people I can talk to reasonably because it's hard to find. There's a lot of dipshits out there. If you're just here for entertainment, go fuck yourself. Quite honestly, I don't care. Yep, Adobe houses. Figure it out, man. Buy lots of guns, plant lots of crops, raise some animals. Like I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to get out of San Jose. I can't stand it. I took my kids to eat brunch, my girlfriend, and just the people trying to park and just the parking lot. It's just so awful. Just people's behavior and attitudes, just awful. I just want to get away. I'm so tired of it. Kepsta says, it's worse than that if you are not serving directly their interest. You are a useless eater in their eyes. Yes. Yes. I don't think so. James Wise says, custom-made Italian suit and tie for Fitch while running for office. No, man. I'll be in my overalls. Because we need to get away from that nonsense. We need to get away from modernity, get away from these blood-sucking people. Oh, Jesus. No, I'm not having a bad day. I don't tolerate dipshits. I really don't. I do not care. I don't need you here. I don't want you here. You are not important. You're not adding to the community. You are a weed in the garden. And if you allow shit in your life, you're going to have a shitty life. And I don't allow shit in my life. So I pull weeds later. Had to find out the hard way. Cali is very expensive. Pretty boy, $140 brunch. No, Scrambles isn't too terrible. It was only $97 for 4 people. I eat a lot, so, but still, it used to be that honestly used to be like $60. That would have been a $60 meal before. Now it's, with tip, it's about 100 and something, which is just, it's wild, man. The system science course, is that from one of the things I don't have the time to go through a lot of stuff. The Dr. Shiva stuff, is that what that is? Like I haven't had time to go through that. Like I'm busy with my kids and teaching and stuff out here. It's hard to sit down and go through it, Wayne Smith says, collect books, read those books. No one can take it away from you. If you put it in your head, people will pay for skill. I agree. I like hardcover books, not audio books or digital books. I want to hold them. I got some survival books, living off the grid books. I bought a couple of those just to kind of see some things to live and get off the reservation, off the plantation. And I'm trying to, within the next year, make a move. I'm looking at properties. There's reasonable stuff out in Midwest, and if I can buy some acreage, I saw like, it sounds like a lot, but the townhouse I'm in right now is comparable in price, right? I saw it was under $1 million, but it was up close to that. It was 21 acres. It was a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom log cabin. It was pristine. It looked like a lodge in Reno, not Reno, but Lake Tahoe, right? It was amazing. 21 acres, wooded, had a pond, like a 3/4 of an acre sized pond. Immaculate house, beautiful. It's probably too much house for me to buy into. I want something I can fix up and work on. But man, like what's available? I saw one house in downtown Fort Wayne. It was $140,000. Wow. Like, it didn't have any land, but just to get away from the nonsense out here. You talking about feet? How would one start? You would have to find land, and if you can't afford land, you have to see if you can find a group of people who are willing to go in on the land together. So if you could find 15, 20 acres, and find people who are willing to put money together and buy it and develop it yourselves. Get some chickens. I think chickens is the best first step, because you can start getting food from them pretty immediately. Yep. Move from a big city to a small town. Go move to a smaller town, find a rental, stay there for a little bit, figure out where the best place to live is, where you can maybe get in some land and get going that way. See if like if you can find some Mennonites close to the area, that might be good, because now you got Amish people and Quakers and whatever who are growing, cooking, making all their own food, and you might be able to trade with those people on some level, and do that, man. Buy yourself a freezer. We've been looking at buying half a cow. Like, so you could buy a whole cow, half a cow, quarter cow at certain places. You could go in on that cow with some of your relatives, and then you have it butchered somewhere, and they cut it up, chop it off for you. It's way cheaper than if you were to buy the meat at the store. I think it's a good course of action. It's a course for kids too. Truth, Freedom, Health.com. Courses for kids too. Yeah, when people are like, oh, technology is never going to fail. Like 30% of all the electricians are probably going to be retired the next like 10 to 15 years. Like, what's going to happen then? Because no one knew is coming through. Those people coming across the border, they're not going to be able to pick up those jobs. Come to Mexico. Well, I mean, like, maybe a lot of people are going there for affordable living. My only problem is I don't know if I can bring my guns, and the cartels. The cartels are pretty nasty. They're pretty nasty. Kentucky, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I wouldn't mind. There's a few places I could go, but I have family back in Indiana, so I'd rather be around family. You know, I've been gone for 20 years. It'd be good to go back and spend my last 20 years around family and people I know and really like and care about. Glow, you don't have your chickens anymore? What happened? Did a raccoon get to them? Yeah, I got it. My friend's wife does real estate, and she like helps me with that. She helped me find this place, and she'll help me sell it too. Oh, Facebook has a free chicken group. I'll tell my girl about that. She started studying up. A few egg birds this week. Nice. Hamsmere left New York for Arizona. I don't know about that desert life though, man. Rabbits. My girl might have a hard time cooking rabbits because they're cute. We found a sick bird outside today, so she took it in and she's trying to help it. Buy the rights of the water under your mineral rights. And oh, that's smart. Yeah, because there's a lot of places that have well water out here. Too busy? Yeah, I get that, man. Normally don't mess with, normally don't mess with civilians. But like if things get rough and cartels aren't able to make that drug money because people don't have money to buy drugs, and you have a nice sprawl of land with food and animals on it, like my thing is like if you have something that helps and is good, like there's always going to be somebody willing to come and try to take it from you. French heritage rabbit resell for money and their poop is awesome. I get somebody tend the rabbits. I'll tend the rabbits, George. All right, guys, I'm done ranting. Just don't just believe whatever anybody tells you. We've been talking about this for a long time. Everybody's been like, "Oh, you can't trust the press. Can't trust the press. Don't believe anything you see. Whatever." It's like been a day. It's been a day, and the shootings happened yesterday or whatever. Like, give it some time. And end of the day, you can't really affect it, right? It's not really affecting your life. You can't do anything about it. It's just out there. It's something out there that's being talked about. Like I had to hear it from something else I was watching on TV to even know what was going on. If I wouldn't have been watching the UFC, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known until later at night when I checked my phone before bed. I wouldn't even been something in my head. We went out today and we're out walking around and doing stuff. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody cared. It's like it didn't even happen. So like, remember, man, nothing on the internet is real. It's all FGR, fake, gay, retarded. One of those things, or all three, or two of them, or any combination of them, right? Just don't get all worked up about it. Worry about your health. Worry about your passions, your kids, your hobbies. Like Matt Brown said, start working out, play an instrument, right? Start talking to girls. You got it, Glory. I'll be seeing you soon, man. All right, guys, I got to get going. Tend to the rabbits. All right.